Welcome guys back to that's how I want this. Yeah, guys back to our re-edition of Health Bar. So we have these two, and now you've also got a circle and a beaker, and I'll show you how I set these things up. And the beaker is a bit weird just because of its shape. I can't actually I couldn't do. It wasn't me just building a beaker. I actually just did a square and then put it over, and I'll show you how I did that. And because if I did that, it would have still had a square here, right? So essentially, I'll show you how I did that in a second. Basically, in the general gist of things, is that how it works now, or how it's always worked, I just figured this out, is that if I have an image and a mask, what will happen is that the mask will be based on the image. So I'll show you here. If you look at my beaker, I have a mask and an image of an orange beaker, which is the beaker, right? It doesn't really matter. And that means that that's going to be my mask, my essential cutout mask. Now if I wanted to do this, what I would probably do is I would do one that doesn't have the outer edge. Right? That would have the outer edge so that would be the borders. Right? Or maybe push it, and it would be proper. That would just be creating one, and then I'd still get an outer edge, right? But that's why it doesn't have an outer edge. Otherwise, what will happen is they'll actually kind of cut off here. Maybe it won't. I'll actually give this a go. See if this works, right? It was happening before, but maybe with my new system, maybe it won't. Because I started only over orange because I kind of overwrote all the rest, but that's fine. Doesn't really matter. It's the fact that it exists. Yeah, as you can see what that's the problem that was happening. Yeah, see, so it kind of like fills up, but it's just kind of because of how it scales. Sure, there's a better way you can do it. There you go. I think we fix them up. Yeah, we have. Okay, circles are really easy. Though I did flip my circle, as you can see, right? Because I could have done it from the Y angle, but I added this little bit of code in afterwards. The reason that this is going down is because of this Y. If we turn this off, and now we're doing X, it will actually go across. But we want it to go down, so that's why, before you have to actually flip it, now this Y will actually do it for you. The only addition to do that script is just have an else if, just say Y is just a boolean, right? And if Y is false, that's we're doing X, then just do normal. Otherwise, just switch these arguments around, right? So make sure you have that if you want to do like a verse, like. Don't know why I made them more pink. That's like no sprite. That's weird. That's okay. So that's essentially what you do, right? Pretty easy. It's not a ridiculously hard thing. It's kind of gets it up. The circle is probably the coolest. I'll go over how I did that. So we'll just turn off mana. For mana and stuff, we still have this. This means that if you have it this way, your this one here, this image bar, doesn't actually have to be it doesn't have to have this corner cut off, right? Meaning that if you do it this way, it will make it look a bit nicer because you see how it kind of still has that corner. And maybe you're worried about that, you just don't like the look of it, you can just do a square, and it will actually just do a square, and then when it comes up the corner, it will just fill up the corner. But the only problem is, again, if you do it, actually you should just be able to fill up, because of this, you should be able to just not do the corner, and it won't do the corner, right? And it will fill up the corner at the end, right? And it should do the outline. I haven't really tested that out, but, I mean, in what I'm imagining it to be, it should do the outline. So as usual, you got your mask. If this is your first time watching, I will go through it under my circle. So essentially, what you do is you have a circle, and you have your basically your borders of your object. So any extra won't happen. If I show you what happens if I turn both these off, that's what happens. See, but we only really want to take the inside. So we actually want to create like a pseudo border system. Also, I had to create this other thing because otherwise I would have cut the sliders out, right? So you're gonna kind of have to put all your sliders and all your other stuff under here. And I just kind of put this one under here because I was doing beakers afterwards. But I believe this is this one here. But you can just kind of put it under a different menu. Just because they can't be under here because this has mask group. I mean, you could create a big one and then in there have like, I don't know, have like a bigger one and put your slides into there. But I mean, this was just easier for me. And essentially this is going to be your borders, so anything outside these borders will be disappeared, which is why if you actually have a look, there's actually no borders for this here, even though there probably should be, just because technically it comes out like this, right? I don't know if you see my mouse, I can't remember, but technically it like does kind of like a little oval thing. So if I just show you by turning that off, you can kind of see what I'm saying. The reason you can see this is because image is on, so yeah. But I'm just gonna leave image on just so you can kind of see. So you see how we're just taking, you can kind of see how it works. So that's why we take the corner. And also I changed up the colors. I've got different colors here. I made quite a few ones. I'll actually be putting the circles in the description. That's not the one I want. I don't know where I put it. These are all my circles. And I made them in GIMP. They're really easy to make. You just get kind of like a 50 size sprite pixel, and you just go and just punch it down, pseudo punch it down on the screen. I can do one for you. That's how you create a block, but we'll do a 64 by 64. Delete this. There are a few things you have to do when you do it. You zoom in, you click this, you make this about 50. 50 is pretty good. I mean, like, you can make it a bit bigger, and that's your square. And you go, okay, wait, that's not what we want, because it will, how do you get this? Well, you just make a border around it. I'm not going to do it on the screen, but essentially make a border around it so you can actually edit the colors inside and edit the colors outside, right? Which is what I did here. That's why I did a black border. I actually did it white originally. You want to make sure your color is white. And you go, well, how do you make it see-through? Well, that's actually very, very easy. If you can actually see here, see this color? This is actually, actually I might as well show you what I did. I'll pseudo build one for you, right? Not really, but I'll kind of build one. Right, that's fine, we don't really care. I don't really care about the size, so we'll just kind of do this. It's like, I don't know, it's like 60, not 600. Take off 0. Maybe a bit more, like 120. So you can actually see it. There we go. Then what I did is I essentially went in a bit close. So obviously this image was a bit smaller. It wasn't as big. And just kind of made a big circle. And then kind of just made it so it did this. So this is some GIMP tutorials. I mean, I don't mind doing a few GIMP tutorials, but I don't really know the program point that well. I mean, I don't probably know Unity that well either, really, but then you can kind of go delete. As you can, that was probably a bit rushy. I mean, to be perfectly honest, but you kind of saw how I did. I spent a lot more time on the circle ones. You just kind of got to maybe adjust it quite a bit, and that's the reason why it looks blank, because I actually colored these like a nice gray. Just because I kind of like the grayness, and I actually really like it because it kind of looks quite mossy when it gets to kind of the green, or well, not in this case, but when it gets to kind of the greenness, especially here, it kind of has this like nice little like mossiness around it, and it kind of just looks nice. So you can tell when it's full, and when it's half and empty. I know that doesn't look great. I know that you're like, oh my gosh, but remember this is sprite. Normally I wouldn't have the outside of it on each of my sprites, so like when it's like this, that looks weird, but I wouldn't have any sprites, so it's more like this that you'd kind of be saying. Alright, kind of this. So you don't remember not to put a border. Even on like these ones, this is kind of what you're having. See, there's no border along here. Well, it is kind of here, but yeah. So you just make sure you do that. I kind of stuffed up a lot of my borders, which makes them look a little bit worse than they actually are. But that's essentially it. And because kind of, I mean, it's kind of cool. It looks a bit weird, but I mean, I didn't spend time in the beaker. I built this myself, but it was like kind of thing. Yeah, it was a very quick beaker, and I'm not going to be putting that outside. It was so quick. It just took like 10 seconds to do, and I came up with this thing. And I kind of copied one off the internet, but I'm not very good with beakers, all those kind of things. I'm okay with circles, as you saw. That was quite easy, and these things look pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty happy with these things. This was my heart system, if you want to see that out. Actually, I didn't show how to build this. So essentially what you do is you have a few things. You've got your circle. You have your circle outline, which is just going to be your outline, which is just, if we just have a look, like two of these, it's just this outline thing, right? It's just essentially a blank one. Then you have a mask, and this mask can not have any image on it, because basically this mask, you're just going to edit its scale, which edits the scale of the object, see? So we're just editing the scale of this, right? We can't, I mean, I think we can like edit the width too. Let's see, so we miss 10 and like 100, 200, like I don't know, like 190. But let's see, it kind of is the same thing. You know, it does the same with scaling thing. That's bound to happen. Alright, so like that. That's essentially it. And then circle bar is just going to be like an image of, actually, you're just going to chuck any image, right? Because it's going to change as soon as you start. This is where it gets a bit more complex. This is the one that we're using. So you have a slider, because we're using a slider in this case, right? So essentially, as you see a bunch of stuff, and this is, I'm not going to be going through this. If you want to see the original video, you want to see the original video. Essentially, HP is the slider value. You're basically just saying, okay, this is your max slider, is going to be this. You max HP, just for convenience sake, shall we say. Divide range. This is just so we can not have to do this each time, and so you can see our divide range. Right? Just for effect, for convenience for the user, right? If you want access to your divide range, which is essentially the percentage of how much HP you actually have out of, right? You know, you get 6% HP, but without the times 100. So you can times 100 to get percentage, but we're going to keep it as decimal. And essentially we're just saying, okay, well, this is our output of how much HP we have. So there, like, I'm just going to show you, like, circle, we had like 100 there or whatever. And this is the bigger part. This makes it big and small. This all you need to have is a single line, right? This is for the color changing. This is for the thing. So you're just saying, okay, we're just getting the local scale. We're just getting the scale, and we're saying, okay, that we could access the scale.x, whatever, right? The reason it's not showing up is because of not actually opening the project properly, which is why things are auto things, but that's fine. So if I go like else if, it doesn't do it, but it will still load things, but it won't like it so much that if I try to build it, it'll probably become errors. Vector 2, and we're just creating a new vector 2, so basically x and y, this is our x, and this is our y. So this is a crossways, and this is diagonal, downways. I mean, we could probably do this under one statement. It's just so much easier just to do it under two. I mean, if it was like 5 lines, I would try to figure it out, but you guess, right? The best way to do is you divide it by itself. So these would both be divide range divided by a variable, and then you'd stop here and go, okay, well, if y, then y, I don't know, you'd have like two different divide ranges. Okay, I'm cold. Okay, if HP is less than or equal to 0.25, so basically this is saying if you're less than or equal to 25% of your HP, so a quarter HP, then we're just saying, okay, just show me your red. Alright, 0 for us is red. And the outline, this is if you want different outlines, which I actually don't really use, other than on my health stuff, you saw the outline change. So if you want different outlines, this is here. If you don't, you can just put the same outline, right? Or you can just remove the line completely, right? Here, you can have more of these. So all you do is you basically go, as this is a percentage, and you just add a dot in front, and then you just times it by your max HP, right? You don't times it by your divide range, just times it by your max HP, because you want to make sure that your HP is equal to this, right? So this is your statement, right? And then make sure there's actually always a number, otherwise it shouldn't make a difference, but it could if you start on that number, right? Otherwise, it will just keep it standard. If HP is basically saying if HP is less than or equal to 6, and it's greater than 25, so essentially halfway between these two, then halfway. And if it's greater than 6, then top 40%. And this is like mid. They're each about 20. Oh, I mean, this one's the green's biggest, but normally green's quite big, and normally orange is a bit smaller, and then red's like really, really small, and that's what we've kind of done. You know, well, this is 25, this is like 35, and this is 40. So I mean, yeah, you get that nice scaling. And this is just a script that just basically says dead.set active true, and this is just a text and just pops out the text. I'll show you what happens if we do. The only thing that you can die on right now is this. You are dead. Essentially, all you do, I'll show you, is you say, yes, I can die, and you give it a die script. Which is this. If you're not dying, you don't need to give it a die script, right? Don't worry about it. It won't use it. I would anyway give it a script that happens. So if it happens, go, okay, this shouldn't be happening, or you know, I have like a script that says this shouldn't be happening, or I don't know, something like that. Because there's so little taxing, it just means that that pops up. Then they go, okay, well, we found a bug. This is happening. Just go check that you're not changing your can die, which probably it can't be static, but probably should be private. Nah, because you won't change it. I don't know. You just don't want other users to have access to changing it, right? But you want to be able to change it. So essentially, if you can die, if your HP is 0 or less, which it can never be in... Oh, well, we never check, so you can set your HP to like 10, like -5. It'll like mark it up. But the slider has a minimum of 0. Then you die. Else, it's false. Which basically means that like, if your HP is 0 and then you go back to 5, you turn false. Which you wouldn't want in a game. I mean, most likely you would reload a level, so I mean, you reload the scene, so I mean... Okay, so we're just gonna... That's all the code. That's all the code. I mean, this episode's been a bit longer. Don't know why it does that. It fixes itself up. Just need to play. I don't know why it would, but it's something to do with loading. Probably. It's something to probably do with all these like masks and stuff. This is probably not the most efficient use of it. I mean, I do have a lot of these on, right? You wouldn't have this many. You would have like 2, maybe 3. You should be fine. If you're finding difficulties with this being laggy, please write in the description. I will work out and see if I can optimize and do this other stuff. So 17 minutes is a pretty good stopping point. I mean, I know this is kind of being a bit longer than usual. As it was going for like a 10-minute video, but I want to just go for the code for those who didn't want it. So I mean, obviously, if you always saw that, you would stop the video earlier. Well, thanks guys for watching, and if you haven't, oh man, thank you. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and do everything else you can do. It really does help. I mean, I can say this, but it really does actually help a lot. It just means other people see these videos. It means I really gain subscribers, and I really get striking rolling. Thanks for all those who subscribed. I really seen this, and I really appreciate it. I'm going to do a landmark at 10, which is about 3 off, which I think we could do by probably my birthday, maybe January the 15th, maybe. That's probably a bit, you know, but I think we maybe could do it, you know, start getting rolling. Thanks guys for watching.